Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 spring edition of AMP2. My name is Dr. Robert Kokenese, and I will be your guide through this tremendous semester. Lots of interesting topics to cover. I want to take a few minutes of your time to show you what's in your class shell. It's good to know, and before we meet next week, to see what resources are there. You might want to print schedules or just check over things. So let me give you a brief rundown, this orientation for the 2025 Biology 142. So let me go to screen sharing and we'll take a look at inside the class shell. So what you are seeing here is your class shell. This is student view, and the appearance of the shell is a little different. This is now in Ultra, so if you haven't been taking classes in a year or so, the Blackboard class shell looks a little different. So let's take a look at what's here. I have a brief bio here. There's a home page, and let's click into some of these to show at least some of the details here. You see here a welcome message, and please read this. This welcome message encourages you to review some of the material from the nervous system of the AMP1 part of this class to provide total entertainment. Here are two animations. Action potential, ion channels will be bread and butter of the first two chapters that we'll be studying in AMP2. Also, we'll be talking about signal transmission of a nerve impulse, and synapses are important here. So just to have a little warm and fuzzy feeling when these topics come up in lecture starting next week. It's good to review a few things. So please read the welcome message and welcome to use these two animations. There are other items here that will become important a little later on. The home page is the place where, when I have to, I will be attaching recorded lecture material. So it's good to know that this will be the folder where those recordings will appear. The course syllabus, you can call this basically the contract or the description of the class. In a separate video, I'll come back to the grading aspect that's described here. Very important for everybody. We'll make this clear as possible. In addition to the syllabus or course outline, please notice this biology attendance policy. There is a maximum number of hours you can miss without consequences, and please keep this in mind. If somebody's getting close to those danger limits, I'll let the students know. But it's important to know that there is such a policy. Please take a minute and look at that too. Within the syllabus, without clicking in there, I do want to show you the textbook and lab manual. So let me see if I can go out of sharing here just for a minute. So this is the latest edition of the textbook, Tortora Derrickson, Principles of Anatomy and Physiology. I believe 16th is the latest. So this is one required material. If you took AMP1 at Lewis and Clark, you should have this. And the lab manual is by Allen and Harper. This is the 6th. I believe there's a 7th edition for both the textbook and the lab manual. Earlier versions are fine. We will be using lab manual with good frequency. So please make sure to have those two mandatory required materials. Outside of those two, there's nothing else required. Everything else is optional. So let me go back to screen sharing again. So let me close the syllabus. When you click into your lecture and lab schedules, you'll find PDF files describing not only the topics of lectures and labs, but the quizzes and the schedule of lecture exams and practicals as well. Not a bad idea to have this printed. Sometimes it's difficult to find these schedules, so having it printed and with you all the time, easiest way to answer any questions. And talking about questions, if you have any questions before we meet, please use the messaging function from within your class shell. And after we meet, please don't hesitate to ask questions anytime before, during, after lecture, before, during, after labs, and of course, electronically. So please let me know if we need to talk about anything. We do have here in your class shell practical study guides. You will get a printed version of this, but if you want to prepare a folder, please go ahead and print these. We do have chapter study guides. Now, these are 1 or 2 page summaries of the most important areas. Some of you might like to go along with that and follow that as we follow the topics. As usual, we have lecture slides. So when you click in here, you not only see lecture slides for each exam, but also I included here lecture slides from AMP1. If you want to refer back to any material, it's 2 in the morning, everybody's favorite time to study AMP, of course. You might find answers here. We will be referring to AMP1 material, especially cells, tissues, nervous system, a great deal in AMP2. So this is an additional resource there, in addition to the AMP2 lecture slides. We have word bites here, of course. I'll talk about this a little more when we get close to lecture exams. For those of you who have taken AMP1, here, word bites, they know that word bites are integral part of all lecture exams. There are, of course, access to graded assignments. The chapter quizzes can be assigned from your class shell. Now, here's something new for this semester, lab home assignments. This is a graded assignment, but the grades do not count towards your lab grade. So this is now for purely practice. Please look at these, complete these. You will be able to go back anytime you would like. The scoring is important, so you know how many points you got. But again, lab home assignments are not part of the grade book calculations this semester. And of course, extra credit chapter review sheets are found here as well. These are the part of the extra credit mechanism in these classes for lecture exams. This is how you can earn 6 extra credit points for each lecture exam. And we'll talk a little more about this as the first lecture exam approaches. Maybe another thing I want to point out here, AMP Buzz. This has descriptions of disorders, interesting reports from current science or research establishments that appeared online. And I wrote a paragraph, I'm sorry, I wrote a page or so and related to our material here in AMP2. I'll be adding more to these, but if you'd like to check these out, this is there for you to use. So let me move out of sharing here. So this is all I wanted to say in terms of orientation. You see a number of resources in the class shell. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask before we meet or obviously after we meet. So I'm going to close right here, and I look forward to meeting all of you next week. For those of you who have Monday and Wednesday classes with me, please don't forget Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. There are no classes on Monday, so keep that in mind. Have a great weekend.